Chapter 23, Strange and Wonderful. Rolled out of my bunk Thursday morn, exhilarated, feel reborn. Sun was breaking o'er the horizon, wind was slack, sails just hung there, no cloud above. All was fair. Tapped on his door, he was pulling his boots on. Right on time, the old salt yells to the sounding of the ship's two bells. Now let's go and see just where we're at. I did the reading. De Lebec just sat. Well, nothing got lost overnight. You did just fine. Almost right. Do it like this. Yes, see? More precise. And while the chap's at sea, 'tis the most important key. I loved Mars' teaching and advice. Then it was back in the cabin to record. 2 lines already in the log? One at 0200 and the other at 0430? My, De Lebec does get up early. Mars just winked at me and said, couldn't sleep, just could not. And there's no room on that cot. Let's have a bite, then we'll spend the time to plot our course and gauge our time. Lots has happened overnight. Mars pulled 2 mugs from out of somewhere, placed them on the table. From keg to mug, next came some water, doled out with a ladle. Then in the mug, from an earthen jug, he poured out golden rum. And to top it off, from a small carafe, came powdery, grainy flecks of brown. The concoction did intrigue me, and my nostrils were agog. Mars, just what might this stuff be? Ah, we pirates call it grog. So we sipped our grog, ate biscuits and salt pork. Then, meal aside, Mars grabbed the log and cried, let's get to work. I felt a wee shift in the night. I expect that you did too. If not, you will as days go by. You'll feel it, be more well attuned. That's why the readings in the log at 2 and again after 4, current strong, pushed us along, but eastward, not north. Yes, the currents put us further east than Captain planned to be. We need good wind and need it fast, else we'll be in Tuscany. Morgan, please get out our map and also bring the scale. Let's plot the course we've taken. From outside came a welcome snap. I saw a billowing of sail. Well now, Morgan, my dear chap, I may have been mistaken. We walked outside to greet the wind. All the sails were full. Seen nothing like it. Strange, Mars grinned. Ah, strange and wonderful. And just about that very time came Rosanna Lynn in line. Chapter 24, Bursting to Share. We set the new course, Mars and I, based on the shark's position. Lime grabbed Mars' scratchings on the fly and raced it to the captain. The old man howled, slapped his knee. By gar, there goes another. Looks like that younger Harmony is a picture of his brother. Now, my son, De Lebec began, you'll take on duties as you're able. Rosanna Lynn by now was in and sitting at the table. You too, miss. You're part of this. So he talked of how to measure speed, in knots, in time, and even of the wind, of ocean depths, shallow, deep, how you must bear them in mind. He talked of sea swells, sea currents, and then of nautical miles. We, Rosanna Lynn and me, saw it with concurrence, and we began to smile. You love this teaching, don't you, Mars? We can see it on your face. You light up like the moon and stars to impart your depth, your knowledge, with such grace. So I'm not just the sound of tinkling brass? Ah, for that I thank you, lass. 'Tis the sea, the sea. She has such a hold on me. I've searched for men in many places, looking for that hunger. I think I see it in your faces, and I'm bursting to share with you two there. Old Mars ain't getting any younger. Chapter 25, Chiplogs, knots, and nautical miles. Let's take a walk down to the stern, get some readings on our speed. About that time, we heard 8 bells, the watchman crying, "All is well." "Ha, great," said Mars. 8 bells indeed. We followed him on, eager to learn. "Excellent, we're right on time." O'er the rail went a knotted line, held by a one-legged jack. In the other hand, a glass of sand. 30 seconds later, he dragged that line right back, wrote the result on a canvas square, gave it to Mars, who was standing there. Mars stared at us with a wry grin, and then it was back to the cabin. Old Claude does the morning read at the sound of the bells. From his count, we determine speed, using what his canvas tells. Claude uses a simple chip line, a wedge of wood with a rope tied, knotted at every 47 feet. And with that, we determine speed. "What?" I cried. "No, you can't." Rosanna Lynn piped up. "Morgan, no don'ts, can'ts, or shan'ts. The sand glass is 30 seconds, agreed? When the sand is gone, the reading's done." I interrupted. "I got that fine." "Shh! Now, you stop the line and count the knots, see?" Mars roared with delight. "Listen to the last, son. She's absolutely right." "But 30 seconds," I protested. "A rope with knots tied to a stick? This must be some grand trick." "Morgan, just listen," Mars suggested. "You can't determine speed by just one 30-second read, so we usually take a read at every bell. 8 are on this canvas square, so we can sit here in our chair, get the average speed or this morning's last 4 hours. "Oh, let me see that writing. This is getting more exciting." I studied what Claude had written. I, by now, was truly smitten. I summed up the numbers together. Miss Lynn had shown me, and I remembered. And I came up with 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 equals. Okay, the answer's 18. So what does that mean? "Now, Morgan, divide 18 by 2. We took a reading every half hour, true?" "Here, let me show you." But as she started, I said, 9. So the distance in nautical miles we traveled in 4 hours. The answer, son, is 9. And Mars smiled. "And how about the average speed?" "I divide the miles by the hours," said Mars. "Are you sure?" "Yes, just over 2 knots, I beamed. For a fact, Mars made it more exact. We took a reading on wind direction, charted the course for Unc Willem's heading, based on how far we'd come and where we're at, and I felt really pleased at that. Making sure the columns were correct, I put the new entry in the log book myself. Under the different columns, time, course, nautical miles, knots, and wind. I put them as 0, 100 hours to 0, 400 hours, northwest by north, 11 nautical miles, 2.75 knots, the wind being at the northeast. And 0, 400 to 0, 800, it was northwest by north, 9 nautical miles, 2.25 knots, east to northeast. And I placed the book back up on the shelf. Chapter 26. A rope is a rope and a bath. Wind pushed us along with a pretty good force. I said, "Feels like 5 knots." Mars agreed. He was singing a song. I was plotting our course. Rosanna Lynn preparing to leave. "What in tarnation?" De La Bec sounded first, though we all thought the same, and we all thought the worst. We felt the wind shift to almost nothing at all, like the shark was adrift, or could just barely crawl. I flung open the door to the cabin and looked for the billowing sail, but to no avail. Except for the creaking, the shark just lay lifeless. even our windsock there by the compass. And the heavens were high, not a cloud in the sky. The sun was upon us, the weather quite fair, but what happened to the wind out there? Like someone just snatched her right out of the air. I'm sure old Claude got some good numbers before this short doldrums were in. Sometimes she's awake, sometimes she slumbers. But boys, that's the way of the wind. And so we three sat in the cabin. I recorded it all on some lines. 1,100 hours, water flat, no wind. 1,200 hours, water flat, no wind. 1,300 hours, when in a running comes lime. Cap wants everybody on deck! That's all he said, and then he scampered out. Said Dalebec. Wonder what that's all about. But we three, Rosanna Lynn, Mars, and me, walked out to sea. The deck was half full already, and more crew were coming, steady. When it seemed a reasonable crowd, Cap waved for silence and spoke up loud. How many here can swim? Because we're all going in. Some here haven't had a bath in probably a year and a half. A roar of disapproval came, mixed with moans and groans. I heard words like, I'm too lame, and I swim like a sack of stones, and I'm bound for Davy Jones. But Cap remained firm, held his hand up for quiet. Listen, even those of you infirm, it's going to be all right. We've tied off a rope on the starboard from the bow line all the way to midships. You can dive, you can jump, or we'll boot your rump. Your choice, whichever you wish. Now, once you get in the water, just hand over hand on the line. But listen, by thunder, your head must go under, or you'll go in second time. You'll line up in orderly fashion, 10 rows of 10 on the deck. Then you'll go in the brine 1 row at a time. Oh, in charge of each row, just so you know, is whoever ends up on far left. It's your duty, Jack, to make sure they come back. You're in charge of the row that they chose. Now all of you, scurry to get your clean set of clothes. While in the water, you simply ditches your old worn-out breeches, which we may just have to dispose. Be back in 10, in the line you're now in. Now hurry, 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 and we'll begin. Midst more guffaws and swearing, I heard, You mean our skivvies too? And, Which line are the ladies in? And a few a bit more blue. The crewmen of the Listless Shark now did as they were told, and the deed was done by everyone, long before the sun got cold. The crew stood at attention now in their rows of 10, saluted to the captain, and he saluted back at them. Hair was shiny, somewhat combed, duds was fresh and clean. Men, I'm happy to report it seems no one here got drowned. And look at you, a happy crew. Would you do it all again? Midst laughter, gleeful shouts arose, and to a man no one opposed. Instead I heard, Aye, Cap, was grand! The whole 110. Somewhere behind the rows of 10, Aunt Harmony sighed, Amen!